Hello everyone, welcome to Learnowledge. Today we will be discussing about Angular services. In this tutorial, we will be discussing what is service, how we can define a service, inject dependency of a service into a component, usage of service in component. So what is an Angular service? Angular service is used to create a data access layer of your application, and it's a great way to share data to multiple components. Ideally, components should not fetch or save directly the data. They have different set of other jobs. They can focus on presenting the data, but they should not fetch or save the data directly. So that's how the service came into the picture in Angular world. With the help of service, we can control the data flow from service to all of its injected components. So it helps in reducing the boilerplate code. So you just need to write one code at one place in a function, and you can use that function with the help of injected service to the multiple components. So let's just go to the ground. So, so how we can create a service? The syntax is very easy. It's like ng generate service and your service name. In our case, it's app. So when you run this command, the Angular CLI will create two files for you. One is your test file and another one is your service file, and they it's saving under the src and app at the root level. So you see it's created two files here, and when you open the app service, you'll see we have one decorator here, injectable. So that decorator, it's what making the class available to your application based on your configuration that you provide. By default, the provided in is at root. So that means your service will be available from the root level, and your Angular compiler, it will create only one instance of this service at root level, and that particular instance only will be shareable to multiple components. Now let's just create a simple method. Before that, let me just define a simple JSON here. My JSON, any, or you can simply write like this. Name Sam H 40. Now let's say if I want to have one particular method that returns this my JSON, how we can do that? Simply just write a name of the method, get data. We are not accepting any argument. Put colon your return type. In our case, it is any. And now put return this dot my JSON. That's it. Now our data is ready. Our data access layer is ready to be used. So in order to use this service into a component, what we need to do, we need to create its dependency at the constructor level, so that when Angular CLI creates a constructor of my component, it should create the component of service as a part of its dependency. This is what we call a dependency injection. So if the constructor or the object of app service hasn't been created, our my component object will not be created, as we are injecting one dependency to it, like this. Private app service, app service. So we're injecting the app service dependency into our variable, and we can use this variable anywhere. Let me just give it a little bit about this ng on init, what it do. It's basically a lifecycle method which invokes immediately after your default constructor being loaded. Basically, it's a part of the Angular lifecycle. You should really check out the Angular official document for the lifecycle method. Those are really helpful. In our case, we are using ng on init. So whenever a component it's getting loaded, we are this method gets called, and we are assigning something uh, to a variable from using this app service. So let me just write like this. This data equals to this dot app service dot get data. Let me just create a variable here. Ta-da. Now in our component HTML, what we can do is simply just write h2 tag, and in here can write what is the variable name. It's data, and we can format it in JSON. When you save it, you'll see in the terminal it's compiled successfully. Now, when you look at the browser, you'll see the name and age it's coming directly from the service. So, let's say if I have two, three components and I'm using this particular service and I'm calling get data method, so it always return my JSON. So I have the control of changing this my JSON to anything. Let me just say to Samuel. So we just need to change our service, and our payload or the data has been changed throughout all the components. So this particular service it's getting used and helpful in our components to share and post any particular data to our data access layer. In this particular tutorial, we have focused on a simple JSON. In the next tutorial, we'll be focusing upon calling the real HTTP API. Till then, please hit like, comment your query in the comment section, subscribe to my channel, and please press the bell icon so that you won't miss any update. Thank you.